Today I'm going to read to you from Encyclopedia Brown Keeps the Peace by Donald J. Sobol. And my bookmark says, Together Haynes Reads a Million. I hope you're participating in that. Haynes Reads a Million. Just today, we got over 100,000 pages read from the 120 people so far who have put their names in, and we had 2 lucky winners. So if you haven't had a chance to do that yet, look on hayneslibrary.org/read, R-E-A-D, and you can just put in your name and whatever pages you read today or listen to. And if you're listening to these, those pages count too. This is Chapter 4, The Case of the Cave Drawings. And I already feel a little suspicious when I look at this. We'll see what Encyclopedia Brown figures out today in this mystery. Elmer Evans came into the Brown Detective Agency. He was breathing. Elmer never breathed if he didn't have to. Although only 9, he could hold his breath for 2 minutes and 50 seconds. Every day, Elmer tried to keep from breathing another second. He went around with his lips pressed together, his eyes popping, and his face ready to burst. "You're looking fine," Encyclopedia greeted him. "Is something wrong?" "Plenty," answered Elmer. "Who is the champion breath holder around these parts?" "You," said Encyclopedia. "That's what I thought," said Elmer. He drew a long, heavy breath. "Until yesterday." "Somebody locked his lungs for longer than 2 minutes and 50 seconds?" asked Encyclopedia. "Who?" "Wilfred Wiggins," said Elmer. "He must have swallowed a cork." Wilfred Wiggins was a high school dropout with more get-rich-quick ideas than Texans around a spot of oil. "What's Wilfred up to now?" asked Encyclopedia. "Down to," corrected Elmer. "He climbed down that hole in the old bear cave yesterday, so I had to try too." "Good grief," exclaimed Encyclopedia. "Children are supposed to stay away from the bear cave. That hole is dangerous. Poisonous gases have built up in it. You could have died." "I held my breath," said Elmer. "Did you reach the bottom?" "Missed," said Elmer glumly. "I let myself down with a clothesline. After a minute, I hadn't reached bottom, so I pulled myself back up before I ran out of breath. But Wilfred said he made it." "How do you know he did?" demanded Encyclopedia. "Wilfred has called a secret meeting for 5 o'clock at the cave," said Elmer. "He's going to tell all us kids what he found in the hole. He says he'll make us all rich." "Wilfred didn't invite me to the meeting," said Encyclopedia pointedly. "Oh, he's probably still sore at you," said Elmer. "He'll never forget how you ruined his sale of Hercules Strength Tonic last month." "That stuff was nothing but sugar water," muttered Encyclopedia. "I think I'll go to the meeting with you." The bear cave was a mile outside the town line. When Encyclopedia and Elmer had arrived, a crowd of boys and girls had already gathered to hear Wilfred. Wilfred raised one hand and called for quiet. "Do you kids know what's inside this cave?" he asked. "Sure we know," said Bugs Meany. "A lot of rock and a hole in the floor that goes down to China." Wilfred laughed. "That hole is filled with gases that can kill you," he said. "Nobody but me ever dared go down." "How come you didn't get gassed to death?" asked Charlie Stewart. "Because I breathed through air tanks, the same kind skin divers use," replied Wilfred. "Air tanks," whispered Elmer gleefully. "Then I'm still the champion breath holder." "You want to know what I found at the bottom of that hole?" cried Wilfred. "Another cave, bigger than the one on top. On the walls were drawings done by cavemen." A thrill of excitement ran through the children. "We have to keep this a secret, see?" said Wilfred. "If some smart grown-up hears what's down in that hole, he'll buy this land in a hurry. He'll clean up, charging tourists and art lovers $3 a ticket to see those caveman drawings." The children nodded in agreement. There was a fortune in it. "I can rent the land," said Wilfred, "but I need a little more money than what I have. I need some cash to dig open a better way to get to the lower cave, instead of just by that hole." "Well, I figured you'd put the touch on us," grumbled Rocky Graham, one of Bugs Meany's tigers. "Scramp, kid," muttered Wilfred. To the other children, he said cheerfully, "I'm going to let each and every one of you buy a piece of this business for $5. Then we'll all be partners." "How do we know those walls have caveman drawings on them?" said Benny Breslin. "Well, after I discovered those priceless caveman drawings, I went home and got my camera," said Wilfred. "I took pictures with a flash gun." He passed out 3 photographs. The first photograph was of a woolly rhinoceros. The second was of a caveman attacking a dinosaur. The third was of a charging mammoth. "There's the proof," shouted Wilfred. "This attraction will be bigger than Yellowstone Park. For $5 you all get a share of every ticket sold, so go home and get your money. But remember, don't breathe a word of this great discovery to anyone, not even your mother." "Oh, maybe I spoke too quick, Wilfred." Rocky Graham apologized. "I'm sorry, I've got $10 saved. Can I buy 2 shares? Sure, kid," said Wilfred grandly. "I don't have the heart to keep anybody from a big money-making deal like this." Rocky and the other tigers raced for their bikes. They chattered about using the club treasury to buy all the shares themselves. Encyclopedia watched the tigers pedal away. Then he told the rest of the children to hold on to their money. "No caveman drew those pictures," he said. How did Encyclopedia know? And here's the picture of Wilfred. It looks like he's got quite a crowd around him. I suspect it was something about one of those drawings, don't you? One of them seemed suspicious for sure. Now, cavemen, they lived at one time. I kind of think dinosaurs lived at another. Is that what you're thinking? Let's see what the solution is. Solution to the case of the cave drawings. Encyclopedia knew that Wilfred Wiggins had drawn the cave pictures himself and then photographed them. One of the photographs, which Wilfred passed around, showing a drawing of cavemen attacking a dinosaur. That was Wilfred's mistake. Human beings did not live on Earth at the same time that dinosaurs did. The first man did not appear until millions of years after the last dinosaur had died. Since the caveman artists did not even know that dinosaurs had ever lived, they could not have known what a dinosaur looked like. Because of Encyclopedia's sharp eye, Wilfred went out of the cave business. Case closed.